What's going on, guys? I debated even hopping on here today because, quite frankly, I had a very, very shitty day at work, and kind of a crappy day throughout. And so I didn't know what type of energy I would be able to bring or where my mental state would be. But I figured for the, 5 people that actually watch this video and gain something from it and might actually take the information that I'm giving out there for free and utilize it in their life and try to become better from it, I figured I owed it to them to make this video, and hopefully they can gain something from it. And another thing is the fact that another reason I didn't want to hop on there is because through social media and through everybody tries to put their best foot forward and show like, oh, look at me, I'm so great, I know everything, and I never have a bad day, and here's my perfect life, and all that shit. But in reality, that's not how life is. And even though I try to motivate and I put posts like, stop being tired, and your mindset is the way that you live, and all those things, which is so true, and I try to live by that as much as possible. But the truth of the matter is that no matter how great your mindset is or how great your drive, I feel like I have way more drive than most individuals. And that just comes from, growing up with the family that I did and in the situation that I did. And, a lot of that is kind of innate and born in me, and it kind of cultivated. But even with all the drive that I have, sometimes you just have a crappy day, and, you have to take a step back and you have to relax, and I feel like that's okay. And that's why my podcast that I post all these audio clips on is called the Ebb and Flow Podcast, because that's how life goes, right? Some days we have good days and we're just killing it. Other days life sucks, and you just try to hold on until you get another good day. I had a question asked to me about what I thought about Smith machines and other types of machine or weight equipment compared to barbells or dumbbells or kettlebells, sandbags, that sort of thing. And so I thought I would hop on here and kind of explain it a little bit more. So originally, Smith machines, as well as the machines that you see at the gym, they were originally made for rehab for older individuals who maybe aren't able to move around as good, but still need to keep up their strength and keep their bones strong, as well as people that are rehabbing from an injury and you want a more controlled environment. But what they found is that they were able to place larger loads, safer on the joints by limiting the stabilizers that get recruited, as well as limiting the range of motion and the planes in which they move. And so that's kind of how that revolution came about. And bodybuilders found that they could build a lot more muscle if they took out the stabilizing. But I believe it was Paul Chek who said that using machines, so what happens is, and I'll get back to Paul Chek's quote in a second, using machines, you work the prime mover. So a prime mover are like really the muscles that you can see, right? Like your pecs are a prime mover, your glutes, your quads. But what happens is you build those muscles up without the stability, the stabilizer muscles becoming active, namely muscles around the joint themselves, like the shoulder girdle, the hip capsules, the core, your abdominal muscles, whether that's your transverse abdominis, which is your most deep ab muscles that run kind of side to side, or your internal and external obliques, your pelvic floor. These are muscles that don't get enough attention, and so that's why a lot of people have back pain or hip pain and things, is because they train without the use of their stabilizing muscles. And so what Paul Chek says is that if you do this, it's like putting a cannon on a canoe. And so if you kind of think about that, you have these really strong prime movers, biceps, triceps, chest, or pectorals, glutes, hamstrings, these really strong muscles, your lats. But if you don't work the stability muscles, you're setting yourself up for failure in injury. And so if you guys aren't aware, the Smith machine is like it's a barbell, but it's on a guided system. You can hop under there and you can do squats, and you can do rows and things like that. But like I said, you're not going to develop the intricate muscles that stabilize those joints. So then, which is great, you can build a lot of muscle and you can look good, and you can tear down the muscle and, rest and build it up and everything like that, and that's great. But what happens is then, let's say your friend asks you to go and move a couch. And now, because you're not working, life does not happen in one plane of motion like in all of the machines, like in the Smith machine. That's not how life works. We're meant to twist and move and stabilize and work in a bunch of different planes at once. And so let's say your buddy asks you to help move a couch, and now you have to pick this couch up and awkwardly step to the side and maybe step off a curb and things like that. And what happens is we develop these motor neuron patterns that your brain automatically activates certain muscles. And so if your motor patterns are messed up, you may activate your quads too much when your hamstrings should have been activated, and that sort of thing. There's this muscular imbalance, and so then you'll end up, the joint that's supposed to work and rotate in its instantaneous axis of rotation is now pulled off, and that's where injury happens. Most ACL, MCL tears are non-impact, meaning that it's not from somebody taking out your knee. And the reason that is, or the reason that people get injured, is because they have developed a faulted motor neuron pattern, and they've developed these muscular imbalances. So the brain, not only is one muscle stronger than the other muscle, the antagonist of the protagonist muscle, and it's pulling and it's straining that joint. Not only that, but then your brain is sending this certain motor pattern there, so that activates the wrong muscles and pulls the joint even further out of the motion. And then that's where the injury happens. So if you've ever been, trying to pick up a box or something like that, and you tweak your back, that is because your motor neuron patterns are messed up, and you have to constantly retrain those patterns and the muscle viruses that you can develop by sitting, right? We sit for hours on the day, and we get hiked up shoulders and the tight chest and tight hamstrings and tight hips. And so then when we go out in the world and we try to move, all these muscles are too tight, pulling the joints out of the alignment and causing pain. This can cause sciatica, which is kind of that fiery pain into the glutes and down the back of your hamstring. It can pull a rib out of alignment. And then you go to the chiropractor and he cracks you back in, but because the muscle virus is still there, they don't do anything to fix that. The joint's just going to get pulled back out again. And so my recommendation, and I say this just about every video, is to build a foundation of strength off of heavy compound movements. Heavy for you, right? Heavy is relative to every individual. So start slow and build a program. Heavy compound movements with barbells and dumbbells. So working in all the different types of planes, not on a machine. Especially if you're a beginner, the worst thing that you can do is hop on a machine and bust out a bunch of reps. You're not only going to mess up your neuromuscular system, you're also going to mess up your central nervous system in the way that you activate muscles and the way that your brain recruits those muscles. So start with dumbbells and barbells. Start slow. Don't hurt yourself. Build up to it. Once you have been lifting for 6 months to a year, and you have a solid foundation of functional strength and muscle, then you can start throwing in the isolation work and topping off the physique that you want. But you should definitely not start there, because you're going to set yourself up for failure. So I hope that helps shed a little light on machines versus dumbbells and barbells. Thanks for listening, guys. If you do have a question or anything like that, shoot me a DM and I'll cover it in another video when I'm driving home from work. Hopefully next time I'm in a little bit better mood. So thanks, guys. Talk to you later.